Welcome, everyone. Today we're navigating the cryptocurrency, looking at some really interesting commentary and price predictions for XRP. We've pulled together some insights that honestly paint quite a compelling picture of where this digital asset might be heading. Our goal today is simple. Unpack these predictions, get the context, and figure out what it all might mean for understanding the wider crypto world. It's about getting you that quick insight, connecting the dots so it all makes sense. So what exactly are we exploring today?
Yeah, we're focusing on XRP, specifically some recent talk from well-known figures in the crypto community. They put out some intriguing timelines and, frankly, pretty ambitious price targets. What's really fascinating, I think, is how you see multiple analyses, different people looking at it, sort of converging on similar ideas for XRP's path forward. It's not just random numbers lining up. It's just they're maybe all seeing the same underlying signals.
Exactly. That convergence is key, isn't it? It helps build a clear picture when different viewpoints start to align. We're here to help you make sense of all this market chatter. Okay, so let's set the scene first. The source material mentions XRP's recent activity. Can you give us the rundown? Sounds like it's been a bit of a roller coaster.
It certainly has. So the data shows XRP actually hit a yearly high, $3.66, just about 2 weeks back. That was a big moment.
Okay.
But, markets being markets, it hit resistance there. And that led to a pretty sharp pullback. We saw a drop of 10.34% on July 23rd, which, interestingly, was its biggest single-day fall since way back on April 6th.
Oh.
Yeah, back then it crashed 10.39% below the $2 mark. So this recent drop took it back down to test that $3 support level. Really key area traders watch.
Right. That $3 mark is psychologically important, too. So quite a swing. What happened after that big drop? Did it just keep falling, or?
No, actually, it showed some real resilience. After hitting that low on July 23rd, XRP has made a pretty remarkable recovery. It's climbed back above the $3.20 region. That's more than a 10% gain from its lowest point just 4 days prior.
Okay, so a strong bounce back.
Exactly. And this rebound, this ability to shake off a significant dip, really sets the stage for the predictions we're about to get into. It shows there's still underlying strength there.
Right, and this is where it gets really interesting, because right in the middle of this rebound, this prominent figure, Zach Rector, he's shared some very specific short-term targets. He's known for making some bold calls, isn't he? What's he seeing for XRP, and how soon?
Well, Rector, looking at a daily XRP chart, he's pointing to an initial target zone of around $4 to $5.
Okay.
And he's not hedging much either. He suggests XRP could hit this range any day from now.
Any day now. That's pretty confident language, almost immediate.
It is. It implies he sees something in the chart suggesting a surge is imminent.
So if it hits that $4 to $5 range, what kind of jump are we talking about from where it was, just to give people a sense of scale?
Good question. At the time the source reported this, XRP was trading around $3.26. So a move to $4 to $5 would mean an increase of, roughly 22.6% on the low end, up to about 53.4% on the high end.
That's substantial.
It is. And, to add context, remember that earlier rally. XRP jumped a massive 64% from its July opening price of $2.23 to that $3.66 peak.
Right.
So seeing another 53% increase. Based on that recent history, it's seen, certainly within the realm of possibility for XRP, it can make those big moves quickly.
Okay, that paints a clear picture for the near term. But does Rector stop there, or does he have a longer view beyond that initial $4 or $5 target?
Oh, no, he sees that as just the beginning, a stepping stone, really.
Yeah.
His second target is much higher. He's looking at a range between $7 and $15.
$7 to $15. Wow, and what's the timeline on that? Because that's a huge jump.
Get this, he specifically predicts XRP will likely claim that $7 to $15 range by September 7th, 2025.
September 7th. Wait, that's just 6 weeks away from when this was reported.
Exactly, 6 weeks. It's a very, very ambitious timeline for that kind of price appreciation.
6 weeks is incredibly fast. What kind of percentage gains are we talking about there, even if it hits $5 first?
Okay, so from the $3.26 price point, hitting $7 would be a 114% increase. Getting to $15, that's a huge 360% gain.
Mind-boggling numbers.
They really are.
Yeah.
And even if it hits $5 first, like you said, getting from $5 up to $7 still needs another 40% jump. And to reach $15 from $5, that's another 200% increase.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it naturally leads to the question, is this just one person's very bullish take, or is there something more to it? Are others seeing something similar?
That's exactly what I was thinking. Because one person's prediction is interesting, but when you see others chime in, especially respected analysts, it adds a different kind of weight, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And the source material points this out. It mentions that back in January, An analyst called Dark Defender was already suggesting XRP was gearing up for a move. His target range then, $4.10 to $5.85. And he specifically tied these to Fibonacci levels.
Ah, Fibonacci. So technical analysis based on past price swings.
Precisely. These levels are key points traders watch for potential support or resistance. And notice his range, $4.10 to $5.85, it overlaps quite nicely with Rector's initial $4, $5 target.
Interesting. So there's some agreement there on the lower end using different methods. What else?
Then fast forward to May. Another analyst, Mags, predicted XRP hitting $7 this cycle.
$7. Okay, that aligns with Rector's longer-term lower target.
Exactly. And Mag's reasoning was based on seeing a historical pattern repeating itself in XRP's chart. You know, the idea that history doesn't repeat exactly, but it often rhymes.
So pattern recognition, another approach pointing to a similar level.
Right. And then adding even more fuel, a market veteran, Ali Martinez, apparently suggested this potential run could push XRP even further, maybe towards that $15 mark.
Toward the top end of Rector's target.
So you've got Rector's analysis, then Dark Defender using Fibonacci hitting a similar initial range, Mags using historical patterns pointing to $7, and Martinez suggesting it could go as high as $15.
It really is fascinating. Multiple analysts, different tools, chart patterns, Fibonacci, maybe sentiment analysis too, and they're converging on these significant upward targets for XRP.
It definitely makes you pay attention. It suggests there might be a growing consensus or at least multiple technical and historical signals pointing in the same bullish direction.
So wrapping this up, what's the takeaway for you, our listener? We've looked at how Zach Rector, and importantly other analysts too, are forecasting some pretty big moves for XRP. We're talking a potential surge to $4 or $5 maybe any day now, and then possibly a climb towards that $7-15 range by early September this year. It's definitely a snapshot of strong optimism.
Yeah, and looking at the bigger picture, it really shows how analysts work. They're spotting patterns, using historical data, looking at current sentiment, all to project what might happen next. It's not about crystal balls, obviously, but about understanding the probabilities based on the available information. It encourages all of us, I think, to look beyond just the day-to-day price noise and consider these wider perspectives, these potential paths experts are mapping out. It gives you a richer context.
Absolutely. This has been a really insightful look at XRP's potential near-term future through the eyes of these analysts. For you listening, the key point is seeing how these different methods, technical levels, historical cycles, pundit analysis can sometimes all point towards similar, significant outcomes. It's about building that informed viewpoint. And maybe here's a final thought to chew on. We saw this convergence around XRP predictions. If these kinds of patterns and combined signals do have predictive weight, how can we get better at spotting these collective signals across the entire crypto market? What other data points beyond just price charts should we be watching to maybe anticipate the next big alignment for other assets? Something to think about as you continue exploring this ever-evolving space.